Yep. I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
To the curious, the seekers, and the experts, welcome. You're listening to Poli-Psych Podcast. This week, we are offering an overview of a few video clips representing some monumental moments from the month of June that you might have missed. I'm flying solo today, and I won't be offering a lot of comment as these clips offer tremendous insight standing on their own. Recently, Dr. Judy Mikovits was interviewed by Dr. Jerome Corsi, covering such topics as the difference between infection and disease, and how flu shots and the wearing of masks have potential to give us a dangerous second wave of disease, not merely infection.
The point about Magic Johnson is, yes, he's been infected, but he's still alive because it never became the disease. Correct, Dr. Mikovits?
Correct, and he's more than alive, he's healthy. So there's no such thing as we're hearing, there's no such thing as an asymptomatic individual. He's infected and he'll never get the disease. The infection is not the disease. It's the immune dysregulation. It's the terrain. We're living in back 100 years where Claude Beauchamp said, the fight between Koch and Beauchamp about Pasteur. Is it the infectious agent or is it this response to the infectious agent? And clearly with HIV/AIDS, what we showed, and now with COVID-19, it's the response to the infectious agent. So you don't turn on the flame. MMR could cause autism, and there was a fourfold increased risk in Black boys if they got an MMR shot before they were 3 years old. Well, and that was when I knew it was pure evil, because I had been working in cancer, and in 1999, we did a very large biomarker program where we asked, why do Black people get more aggressive cancers, prostate cancer, breast cancer, hormone-driven cancers? And we knew the biomarker was the same immune pathway. It's called RNA cell that degrades. It's like a little Pac-Man. It just goes and chews up any RNA that's in the blood, says, no, that's bad. That's a danger signal. That's a pathogen-associated molecular pattern, which are terms we used well after we understood them from a Pac-Man point of view. So, why would you do that? So then I knew it was pure evil when Julie Gerberding and they had a little data burning party. And the only person who didn't throw the data away, he put it in his safe because he knew it was illegal to throw the data away, was William Thompson. I do want to say, Dr. Graves, that it's really important. We will not see COVID-20, but two things have to happen. No mask, no vaccine of any kind. Not any shot. It will drive the inflammation. They're loaded. Flu vaccines are loaded with coronaviruses. About the worst one was the one they used in Italy in January of 19. And so that's the same one they're proposing to use this summer this year. If anyone gets a flu vaccine, we know it's published. Great study from Dr. Wolf from 2017 in the military. Very large study that shows 36% increase in coronavirus infections with a flu vaccine. And then you've given the most compromised, and the vaccine used in Italy had H1N1 strain, one of the most dangerous toxic strains we've seen, and that drove a lot of deaths.
An ongoing concern for all Americans, not only those apprehensive about the future of Blacks in the U.S., is a justice system riddled with corruption, double standards, and political motivations. Among those most concerned are some of the victims of Fast and Furious. Poli-Psych Podcast team recently interviewed two of those, Ian Garland and Brian Connell, and we now want to highlight a few of their remarks.
And speaking to women, I would say that there's still good men in this world. And when it came down to, you know, here's the arrest paperwork for your wife, and there's no guarantee that your daughter, 1 year old, 13 months old, there's no guarantee that she's going to be able to go to grandma and grandpa's house. If you're both arrested, she's probably going to go to the foster system. That's where they break you, and you say, you know what, I've had enough. There is no justice, because the entire time Ian was saying, I'm going to go to trial, and you're going to find out. I will present evidence. But you get to a breaking point where the prosecution comes out and says, do you want your family to suffer? And that's when good men stand up and say, okay, let's go. We want to do a prison sentence. Let's do a prison sentence. Michael Flynn did that because they threatened his son. So the psychology behind it, and the way that they prosecute individuals, and then the media as well, you know, that contributes to it. They didn't say that a guy that was caught with two baggies, and it's his second or third offense, now it's a federal offense. They say, oh, we caught a drug dealer. So you think that this drug dealer has a home in the Hamptons? You think that he's got the mansion down in Miami? When they label him drug dealer, he doesn't. He's a user. He's hooked on this nasty, you know, the devil itself, drug, and so they put him away, and then these law enforcement agents and everything, they're walking in and popping champagne bottles and everything, partying, because they said, oh, we got this big guy. No, you didn't. There is no money in the United States. And then what I'm saying is, back to it, let's bring the women on board. If you want to bring the women on board and these feelers of the United States, what they have to realize is that in every single case, every single day, this is what they do. They go after your loved ones. They go after what they find out what you are on a psychological level, and then they hurt you, and that's what they get you to break on. That's how 98, 99% conviction ratings happen.
One day, my public pretender came to me and said, will you testify for the police officer's wife? They got her in this mess. She's a Mexican citizen, and she's going to go to trial. And they asked me, would you testify? And I said, yeah, sure. Well, she never bought any firearms for me and all that, so I can only say so much. But when the government found out I was going to testify, they let her walk. They did not want me to talk. I mean, why do you think they denied me a trial? I'm up there in front of a jury. I'm like, well, I did my paperwork. I called in my background checks. Why didn't you guys do something? How much more do you want me to do? Yeah, you want me to go back to the clean clothes and breakfast scenario? I did my paperwork. They passed. It's up to you guys to do anything else if there's a problem. They didn't tell me they're going to misuse them. So why am I here? Yeah, where would that have gone? I mean, if I was on the jury hearing that, I'm like, well, what did the guy actually do wrong?
And as many American cities experience violent assaults, questions have arisen as to how protesters are organized and funded, and whether the purported agenda is the actual agenda. In mid-June, Project Veritas released a series of videos exposing two organizations with loose or maybe not so loose affiliations with Antifa. Redneck Revolt, characterized as the militia aspect of Antifa, and Refuse Fascism. We are including some of the clips we felt were most significant.
Typically, Antifa that you see on TV are the ones that are dressed in all black, you know, and they go and they throw rocks or bricks and start trouble. This particular group sees themselves as armed revolutionaries. They're all about the working class, you know, so they share this communist, anarchist ideals that the working class should run the country with no government and they believe in total abolition of everything, including the police. Charlottesville was comprised of your typical Antifa black bloc measures. There were also Black Lives Matter. There were multiple chapters of Redneck Revolt that went to Charlottesville and acted as the militia wing of the anti-fascist movement.
The ultimate vision is for people to break with their comfort and come into the streets day after day, night after night, in the hundreds of thousands until the millions, and not leave until they have to step down. The thing about this is that we see that this is not going to happen through normal channels, because we are living in abnormal times. And the way we see this is that there is going to be a need for thousands of people and then millions to come into the streets and demand that the Trump-Pence regime must go.
And you'll see there's people, Hillary campaign people work with these fascists, because they see the danger. You have to create a kind of demand from below.
For what?
The kind of demand from below that the Trump-Pence regime must go.
Yeah.
Where there's
the abolition.
Yeah, where there's the kind of situation that did exist in South Korea, where the society itself is both a serious crisis in that, just imagine if, let's put millions aside for a second, that there was 10 to 50,000 people demonstrating in those 5 cities, which if they were demonstrating there, I can tell you from history, it would be spreading like wildfire from storming. That number of people who were protesting, at first maybe every week, and then every 3 days, and then every other day, where people were coming after work and the streets were flooded every night from 5 o'clock till 1 o'clock in the morning, and there was probably among younger people, there'd be a few thousand who stayed overnight. And this was happening in Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York. This at a certain point dominates the national news. Cities are in a certain sense non-violent demonstrations, but that's still it's a very disruptive force.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Poli-Psych Podcast. If you have enjoyed this episode, we ask that you please click like, share this video, subscribe to us on YouTube, subscribe to us on BitChute, follow us on Twitter, and if you have a moment, visit our website. Once again, thanks for joining us. Happy Independence Day. And until next time, take care.